everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. Hey, everybody, we're entering May. It's the first podcast of May, and we got a returner on the podcast, baby. Oh, yeah. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors. Our first one is Phoenix Fitness. Yeah, we're into May. We're about to get to those summer months, and, got to make sure that the gun show is big enough. Yeah, look like Arnold, yeah. Or just want to, hit those fitness goals and just want to be as fit as possible. Plus, it's summer coming up, summer festival season, summer concert season. You got to make sure you're able to, go 3-4 straight days. So hit those fitness goals. And one of the best ways to, maybe hit the gym, maybe, do some cardio, just anything you do, to help achieve your fitness goals. But also when it comes to repairing and recovering, and just making sure that your, muscles are, getting the nutrients they need. That's where Phoenix Fitness comes with different supplements, such as pre-workouts, both Stim and Stim-Free, to help you get the energy and get the amped upness for those workouts. I use the Stim-Free stuff because, guys, this is me normally without caffeine. Could you imagine me on, caffeine and, those stimulants stuff? I'd be like, whoa! Okay, they also have different B7 recovery compounds to help your muscles absorb the nutrients post-workout. Different creatines help you build muscles, different protein blends, AM, PM, directly after workout, collagen proteins, vegan proteins, or plant-based proteins, different multivitamins, anything you might need to achieve your fitness goals, Phoenix Fitness has for you. So our listeners get 15% off. Use the code MSOTD at checkout. Thank you, Phoenix Fitness. There are links in the description of the podcast along with the promo code. Our second sponsor is Custom Debuts. So, hey guys want a custom poster? Be the coolest person in your dorm room, in your office, in the garage, in your house, in your basement, or just want to be the person people come over and be like, oh my God, where the heck did they get that poster? That's from Custom Debuts. I'm the only one that has it, baby. So here's what you do. You go to Custom Debuts website and you enter in a band name. Say it's Rise Against, because I'm wearing a Rise Against shirt. And then you either give them an album like The Suffer and the Witness, or a song like Prayer of the Refugee. And they'll create a custom poster for you using the album artwork, the track listing, the lyrics, whatever it might be, off of what you give them. They'll come back to the proof in 48 hours, and if you aren't the biggest fan of the proof they send you, tell them what changes need to be made, and they'll make the changes for you, and when you're satisfied, boom, they will send it to you either on, standard poster paper, like you'd get any other kind of musical poster from, a canvas print, or as an aluminum frickin' sign. Okay, who wants an aluminum sign poster of The Suffer and the Witness? I do. I should definitely go get one. So here's what I'll do. I'll go to Custom Debuts website, make that happen, and at checkout, I'm going to use the code CPP10 for 10% off my entire order, because you can use that code too. Link is in the description of the podcast. So is promo code. Thank you, not Phoenix Fitness. Thank you, Custom Debuts. Now to our feature presentation. About 200 episodes ago, I'm taking a look to get the exact number. It was episode number 97. I had this band called The Protest on the podcast. We're on episode 298, and The Protest is back on the podcast. Yes, Josh is here with us. We talk about what, spreading positivity, spreading that, just the positivity, the happiness, the connectedness that music brings us, what they did during the pandemic to do that, and just everything around the positivity that their message and that their music spreads, from their most recent EP called Death Stare, which came out in 2021, to their ministry work, to literally everything. This is a half-hour quick one of just straight up awesomeness. That's supposed to describe it. Straight up awesomeness. So please welcome Josh from The Protest back to the Chord Progression Podcast. Are you guys ready? You better be. Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. About 200 episodes ago, this band was on the podcast. Yes, it's crazy to say 200 episodes, but that was, during the middle of pandemic 2020. Since then, they've been on the road. They have a new EP out from 2021 that dropped, and you should definitely go listen to it. And they're going to be on the road in the summer and fall all of this year, so you're not going to want to miss out. So please welcome Josh from The Protest back to the Chord Progression Podcast. So Josh, welcome back, man.
Dude, what is up? Man, it's been 200 episodes, huh?
Yeah, it's been a little over a year and a half and 200 episodes later, but not since I last saw you at that one show for Ignescent's EP release show.
How many episodes total do you have?
This one will be 298.
Wow, that's awesome, brother. Well, congratulations. I'm a little disappointed I'm not the 300th, but that's okay. I think I'll survive.
Might have to wait till the 400th for that one then.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good. But how's everything going since we last talked in the podcast about a year and a half ago? Of course, now we're out of the pandemic. You guys are still going out there playing live shows, having a blast doing it. So how's everything been going over the past year and a half?
Yeah, man, it's been going good. Like, I mean, as you said, COVID was absolutely crazy. Is crazy, whatever. It's just, we went from, being on the road to all of a sudden not. And, me and most every other single band in the world was just, we couldn't do what we love. And that was hard, we were blessed. We were able to play during COVID some. So that was a huge blessing. But the good thing about COVID was we got to spend a lot of time writing music and getting our EP done, which came out in August. And it's called Death Stare, and we're super happy with it. We recorded that out in LA during COVID, so that was wild. Yeah, man, just things are starting to kind of pick back up again. We've been on the road most of spring. I just got home for having some babies, and I got some festivals this summer, a tour with Disciple this fall, and Europe. So a lot of cool things going on.
That's right. I did see you guys are going over to Europe at the end of September, over to Germany, correct?
Yep.
How did that all come into fruition? Because I saw that and I'm just like, holy moly. The protest is going international.
Yeah. So about 5 years ago, the festival, I'm actually wearing their shirt right now. They actually hit us up about coming over. And we went over, I think, about 5 years ago. And we started off kind of in northern Germany. We played a ton of shows on our way down to southern Germany, where this festival is, and the one we're doing again this year. It's called Loud and Proud. It's a great show, great people that run it. Always a great time.
Except when I saw that you guys were playing Germany, my first thought was, wait, I'm pretty sure I know that festival and know people that have played there as well. So I was running through, I'm just like, yep, that's the same festival I talked to the girls at GFM about. So, and every time I've talked to them about that show, they're like, it's just been absolutely insane. You get people just to show up from all over the place in Europe to come. It's like, they might not have any idea who you are, but you're playing in front of a room of like 2,000 people that are just ready to go nuts.
Yeah, I mean, they go hard. You know what I mean? And that's what's cool. And trust me, like, there's a lot of rowdy shows here too. Like, there's so many good fans here, but over there, man, they just take it serious, and they love their hard rock. They love their metal. It's a sweaty mess in there by the end of the day. So yeah, it's always really cool.
Shoot, now I'm going to have to figure out how I can get out there and go to Germany and hang out and go to that festival. But money might be a little bit tight at this point. We'll see, though. Yeah. You never know. All of a sudden, it might, win the lottery, find a briefcase of $100,000 that probably wasn't meant for me, but just be like, now this is my travel money.
Yeah, I've been searching dumpsters for that very same briefcase for a long time. Nothing yet, but I have hope,
Hey, you never know. I mean, if you're not searching for it, then you're never gonna find it. It's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. There you go.
Michael Scott. Yeah, absolutely.
Had to throw that in there. But I mean, I remember like when the pandemic hit as well, and you guys did play some of those shows like during the pandemic, because I ended up driving up to that one just like maybe 30 minutes west of Wausau, Wisconsin.
Like, yeah, at that winery.
At the winery, and I'm just like, well, now this is nice, especially after, not seeing shows for a couple of months at that point and having no idea when they're coming back. Not gonna lie, I knew of like, maybe there's gonna be some interesting like people like they're not gonna be too happy with the fact that you guys are playing shows during the pandemic because all these other bands are on the shelf. However, it's like this is what you guys do. This is your livelihood. So if you have a chance to go and do it, do it.
Right, and that's the thing. There was a little bit of negative feedback from some of the bands on the run, but at the end of the day, I mean, like you said, yeah, it's a big part of our income, but more importantly, it's our beliefs and what and our ministry and what we try to do to reach people. I mean, yes, COVID was terrible, and a lot of people got sick and a lot of people died, and that is heartbreaking, and I hate that. But the last thing we wanted to do was be unresponsible. Our goal was to go out there and just encourage people and lift people up during this time. I mean, you would be shocked if you heard how many kids we talked to the last couple of years that have contemplated suicide and all this because just of what's going on in the world, and they're not at school and all these crazy things are going on. So, whether or not you believe it was responsible or not, it's just something that we were called to do. So we did it.
Because just using the experience that I had with you guys on that tour in 2020, again at that winery just west of Wausau, Wisconsin, I mean, if it came to like social distancing, they had a lot of space there for people to be spaced out at. So It was like that was definitely taken care of. But on the other aspect of it too, from the fans' perspective and even from your perspective too, it was just something where during that time for COVID, music has always been a thing, and especially live music has been a thing for people to always come together to be amongst people and be amongst that positivity. And when COVID kind of came, it ripped that completely away from us. So, but the fact that you guys were able to have some sort of chance to bring people together, bring some sort of normalcy back to just people's lives. On top of that, bring some sort of the ministry side of things to increase the positivity, increase hope, even because hope is such a powerful thing. Hope that we will get past this, that we will, see the light at the end of the tunnel to the point where we will get through this. And now we're at the point where, going to a live show, it's like, okay, it's not a question of if it's going to happen. My question is now, how the heck am I even going to get there?
Yeah. Oh, totally, man. And I think that's a good way to look at it. I think music is so powerful and it can inspire people. And I think people need it now more than ever. And really that whole tour, we did during, like right in the middle of the pandemic was, honestly, most of the shows were outside anyways, so, nobody was trying to be irresponsible. Like you said, we were just trying to reach people with some hope.
Oh, absolutely. And then even like later on in the year as well, like later in 2020, there were a couple of bands that started doing those like outdoor shows. Cause I know Skillet did a whole entire thing with that.
The drive-in shows.
Yeah. Beartooth did a drive-in show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So like bands were starting to do something like that. And it's just, you have to weigh, all the different possibilities and all the different sides of it. It's like, yes, there was stuff happening. It doesn't seem like the responsible thing at times. However, there's a responsibility to bring that positivity, to bring that connectiveness, to really bring that engagement. And on top of that too, just how you guys went about it as well, by being in those outdoor venues, you allowed for the space, you allowed for that to be a possible thing. So really, when it comes down to it, in the end, it kind of ended up working out for the best and was the smartest move in the end to bring back that positivity back to people's lives that might have been missing it from, 6-8 months beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now I'm like all positive and jacked up now because ever since 2022 started, I've probably been to like 16 or 17 shows at this point. My plan is to hit 50 this year. We'll see if I actually am able to like hold up to that, because probably by the time October comes, I might be like walking around and be like, help, please.
Seriously, dude. Seriously. And that's it does take a lot out of you, especially traveling and going to the shows and but we're, I think it's awesome that you're back, going to shows, man. And that's just really cool.
And then you guys are back, playing more shows as well, because you guys had the little bit of run in spring of this year. And now, you got some festivals coming up in summer, got your tour planned for the fall. There's a lot going on. And now as well, you recorded the EP in 2021, and people are going to get the chance to really hear that, feel that, and experience that live as well.
Well, yeah, dude, totally. Like, I think that's a great way to put it. Like, I know that you respect live music and love live music as much as I do. And, like these songs that we set on for a while and couldn't play live, now we can. And to us, until you play it live and experience that moment, with the people in the audience, that's when it becomes real and special to us, is when you can share that, with the people at the show. So super cool, man.
Yeah, and you guys, especially with the stuff that's on Death Stare as well, one thing that I really enjoyed about it was, especially kind of bringing more of that positivity to it, a lot of the songs on the EP had this anthemic drive to it. So especially, coming out of the pandemic and trying to build up on that hope, build up on that positivity, there's an anthemic drive behind these songs to keep going, to keep trying to get better, to keep trying to, find that positivity and grow it so that you can take the positivity that's inside of you and radiate that out and help out people that might be
Yeah,
struggling and create a better, community around us, whether it's just within your family, your friend group, the music community you're a part of, or just the world as a collective whole.
sure. Oh yeah, dude. And trust me, like yes, the EP is very triumphant and very victorious. It's all about conquering fear, but that doesn't mean that during that time, and really during any time, that we aren't struggling with those things too. We struggle with fear, doubt, anxiety. Like, I mean, you name it. We just happen to play music. Everyone's got their thing, and that's how we spread love and hope, is through music. And but at the end of the day, we're four dudes who make mistakes, are are depressed, are anxious, so this EP was like it was a obedient decision to, no matter what we're going through, look at that side of, okay, we can do this, we can overcome this fear, so that's kind of like our conscious effort, was to hopefully do that. Even though while writing the music, we had lots of doubts and fears too, just like we all do.
Yeah, and to not shy away from that is an incredible idea as well, just because, especially with, when people are around and people are just listening to music, sometimes people put them on this larger than life pedestal, put them on this level where it seems like, everything is perfect in their world, nothing can go wrong. But in the end, we're all humans. We all go through the same things.
Absolutely.
We all experience some sort of anxiety, depression, some people more than others, unfortunately. But when it comes to the fact that you guys are humans, like you guys, four guys are human, you go through these things, you also feel these feelings and experience these experiences. So writing music about it and not shying away from it gives a lot of people hope, because now you're freely, openly talking about it. It gives people a certain comfort to be able to come out with their issues, talk about them, feel a little bit more comfortable with them, knowing that, they're not alone. Because even though, the term misery loves company, well, in this sense, it's kind of, not gonna lie, it's kind of a good thing, because we know that the other people are going through this stuff. We know people understand what we're going through, and that if we need that help, there is help out there.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. And how many times have you, been in a funk, or been, super down, and then you heard a song, or you heard someone's band, or something that just like really spoke to you in that moment and kind of switched that up. Like happens all the time to me.
I'll say, shoot, that's pretty much every time I go and see Rise Against perform live. The last two times I've seen him perform, I've woken up sick as all hell. Like, I did not want to even get out of bed that day. But I'm just like, I'm going to see my favorite band, and something's going to kick in when I see them. All of a sudden, drag myself to the show. They go on stage, and something clicks in my brain where all of a sudden it's like, am I feeling sick? Nope. Am I tired?
Absolutely.
Nope. Maybe an hour and a half later I might be, but for this moment right now, there is no way that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are they with?
The last time I saw them, they were with Pennywise and Stick to Your Guns.
Okay, cool.
So it was a punk rock extravaganza, which I was very, very happy with.
Yeah, that's very cool, man. Very cool. And so Rise Against is your favorite band?
Oh, absolutely. It's unfortunately, it's not the protest, but it's just ever since I was, a teenager, it was like Rise Against. Something just clicked with me with their music, and I just stuck with it. And it's always been there every step of the way.
Absolutely, man. Like that's totally cool. Like I've got a lot of bands like that too. And man, this is like the most basic statement ever made, but I just love music. I love all kinds of music. I love, it doesn't matter what genre. Like I do love it all. Now there are some genres I really can't stand. Like I like country, but I don't like bro country. I don't like this new country at all. I'm not a big fan of like trap rap and that kind of stuff. I like rap a lot, especially kind of like 90s and late 80s hip hop. But dude, I just love music, and I think it's such a powerful thing to listen to go see live. It's just, it's incredible, man.
Well, I mean, it's like take a look at all the different sounds and styles that you just listed off there and the positive impact that they've had on you. And it's coming from all different walks of life, all different perspectives, all different sounds to all explain and all talk through stories that sometimes revolve around a lot of the same topics and
It,
emotions.
exactly. I'm a huge folk and Americana fan. I mean, I'm a huge classic rock fan. I mean, like you name it, man. Like I believe almost every style of music tells, has a story and emotes a feeling. And, some people like some genres, some people like others, but I think we all can agree that music is something that's very powerful and brings us together. And that's, and it's days like that because, our band, man, we are nobodies. We're a rock band. We got some great fans out there that that keep us going, and we've been blessed to do this for a long time. But um, when I sit back and think about the opportunity we have to just be creative and make music that people like, that's pretty humbling and pretty special.
Well, even you said it earlier as well with how, I mean, you'd be surprised, like you said, told me I'd be surprised with how many people have come up to you and have talked about, suicide prevention from your
Mm-hmm.
music and just the connectivity that they have to it. It's something where, all those artists that are all those like styles and sounds of those artists that you listed off, it's just like, there are artists where, you just connect them on a certain way and their music
Absolutely.
helps you through some of those things because whatever the sound that was produced off of those guitars or off of whatever music production they were working with, whatever the vocals sounded like, however that message was delivered, whatever the lyrics said, however poetic they were, it's somehow connected with you in such a strong passionate way that it is connected to, or it has impacted your life on such a positive note that it has improved your life's quality and kept you going in some of those darkest times.
Oh,
So you
bro.
guys have even had the chance to, not only have that happen to you as music fans, but have had the chance to deliver that to other people as music creators yourselves.
Yes, totally. And that's a very humbling experience. And that's why we really take a lot of care in what we write about, and how we conduct ourselves. And, because, yeah, I mean, I know how music makes me feel. And I want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence, doing the best we can for those people who are broken and hurting.
Yeah, and also, with how strong you are with your Christian faith as well, and with the ministry stuff that you guys do, that also very much lines up with those ideas as well. So when it comes to delivering on all those different aspects within what you guys do as musicians, who you guys are as people, everything lines up and everything is presented that way as well, from what I've seen.
Well, thank you so much, man. I mean, um, ministry, and it's really way more it's really more of an offstage thing, honestly. Like we're on stage for you know 30 to and 30 minutes to an hour a night, you know what I mean? But after that, we're off the stage, no more lights, no more loud music. We're there, and it's just you and the people that came talking. And that's where the real, where I think we can really also have an impact as musicians. And I mean, like, think about your podcast, man. Like, I mean, I guarantee you it has reached some people. You know what I mean? I mean, that's really cool.
Oh, I think that it might have too, like with the podcast reaching people, because I've had some conversations with people that or dove into some very intense topics around mental health, around issues within music. Just there's a lot of different things that have come up there, and I've always wanted to put it out there as like, here's like a podcast where we talk about this stuff, but it's not trying to talk bad on these things. It's like talk and understand that, music, people go through these things. People do talk about these
Yes.
things. And I was talking with Brandon, the lead singer from Palisades, about something, one of the songs that they wrote on their recent record, where he talked about his struggles with depression, anxiety, and a lot of different things, and not act and always just wanting to be better, but not really reaching out for help. And I
Yeah.
just straight up asked him if I could ask him the question of why didn't you reach out for help, as a way to just show people, like, other people are scared to reach out for help, and you might have the same reason that he
Absolutely.
did.
Absolutely, man. Like, dude, I can relate. I mean, dude, it was I've got an amazing family, an amazing wife. I get to do what I love for a living. No one's ever, like, I mean, I've got nothing but love and support. But yeah, dude, depression and anxiety has run rampant in my life since high school, and I couldn't explain it. And, it gets so bad at points that, I've thought about taking my own life, and it doesn't make sense on paper, like why, I've got all these things going for me. But when you struggle with that kind of stuff, man, it's just like, it is truly a living hell, and I think it's amazing that you are able to just be blunt and honest about those things, on your podcast, because people need to know, that yes, we struggle, man. Like everybody struggles, and it's not showing weakness. It's not giving in to find help. Dude, I started seeing a therapist about a year ago, and I changed some meds around, and I really do believe it is making a huge difference in my life. So yeah, if anyone's listening, man, I highly, highly recommend. Yeah, if you're struggling, don't be scared. It's not weak. It's not stupid. Just do it, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And it's fantastic to hear that you've gone through that and that you're doing a lot better for yourself as well
Yes.
through that.
Yeah. And trust me, like there are still days, like you'll still have days that, I walked around for 10 years thinking that, how can I live like this? This will never change. You know what I mean? Like everything I've tried, nothing is going to change, but really this past year, I've worked really hard at it, been doing a lot of praying and, like I said, the therapy and stuff. And yes, it is possible. It really is. And you will have days that are hard, and you'll still have days where you feel like you're backsliding a little bit, or you might have those thoughts, but soon, the hope kind of takes hold, and that becomes more important.
Oh, absolutely. I even have those days as well myself where, because
Sure.
the whole entire podcast and everything that's around here at the Chord Progression Podcast was all created off of me trying to pull myself out of that depressive state and suicidal tendency state. It was all really about that. And it ended up, here we are talking about this stuff, 298 episodes into it. So it's just like, yeah, it definitely worked out. But I still do have those days where at times it is a little bit tougher, it is a little bit harder to get going. Things do come back up, and it is a struggle, but there are also it's also able to, reach out for help when I need that help. I'm not one that has gone to therapy, I'll say yet, because it very well could, but I do look at it as if I ever feel like I have no one to talk to and I'm really struggling, that option is always there in a judgment-free environment.
Absolutely. And you don't have to, like if you're not comfortable with therapy or whatever, then that's cool. But like just getting those emotions out, telling someone how you feel is just really important, I think, because I think you could relate. If you bottle that up and you don't say anything, it gets bad, because that's what happened, man. Like I got tired of being the sad guy, and I felt like all I talked about with my wife or my parents was just how depressed I was, and I didn't want to be that sad guy anymore. So I just stopped talking about it and just started saying that, yeah, I'm doing good, everything's going great, but it wasn't. But I didn't want to put that, put that burden on people, especially if I thought it wasn't going to get better. And that's when it got worse, is when I stopped talking about it to people.
Oh, I can easily relate to you on that as well, because when I just tried to talk to people and all of a sudden it seemed like nothing was really going anywhere, or even the people I talked to, it was they started to turn the conversation more towards them when I was the one that really needed help. I just kind of shut down on that front, and it's like, I still remember this. There's a picture of my family that my mom uses, our family Christmas card from Thanksgiving 2017. My mom and dad look all happy. My brother and his girlfriend, they look all happy, and I'm next to them, and I'm smiling in there for the picture, but I hate that picture, because I can tell that's me smiling just to cover up literally everything else that's going on, and how horrible of a day that ended up being, because of how horrible of a mindset I had going throughout that whole entire day, the struggle of everything. It's just it reminds me of that moment, but I'm not afraid to look at that picture, because I also know that was one of the moments that basically made me realize that I have something has to change, and if I'm going to be closed off on it, this is going to be the reality. That's not going to be the case.
Right. Totally, man. And that's a very brave thing to, to notice, is okay, something has to change, and doing something about it. And that's hard. That's a hard step to make, because even though you're stuck in this hole of depression, in some weird, sick way, you don't want to get out of it. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like you want out of it so bad, you can't take it anymore. But like the thought of it just seems so overwhelming that it'd be impossible to overcome.
Not only the thought of it just being overwhelming to overcome, just the thought of it, the fact that that's kind of at times all you've really known for, maybe a period of time in your life. So the fear of change, it's like, what happens if I try and break from this? What happens if I do get better, but then maybe I get worse and maybe things go back down? Like, I'm not even going to lie. There's times when it comes to relationships where I have a fear of commitment because of how a relationship was. It wasn't the main reason for why I went down that path in 2017, but it was a major catalyst for it. So
sure, yeah, and you can't downplay that, man. Like, like that, yeah, like that is a, it may seem, you're like, oh, it's a relationship, like, but no, that could very well be a huge, just a brick in that wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like for even me, I'm looking at like. I understand that's an issue I have to deal with, and the first part of correcting your problem is admitting there is one. And for me, if there's one, that is one right there. Correct or fix that problem and becoming more comfortable and being more emotionally available in relationships and be more open to commitment. Yeah, that's something I definitely have to work on. And I know the problem is there. Now the next step is, okay, where do I go from there next? However, when it comes to being able to understand where that happiness comes from for myself and find that happiness, it's right here doing stuff like this and right here with the kind of music you guys make with the protest.
Well, and dude, I love that, man. And seriously, brother, like, I love what you do. Thank you for giving artists a platform to talk and talk true, because how a lot of interviews are and things like that. They're the same, and that's okay, but it's the same questions, the same things you talk about. And, your podcast is really, really special, man. It really shows the listener, the other side of artists and yourself. And I think it's really cool. So, dude, just please, please, please keep on keeping on, man. Super proud of you. And I'm just loving what you're doing.
Well, first off, thank you very much, Josh, for that. And second off, to you as well, keep doing what you're doing with the protest. Keep making the kind of music you guys are making. Keep delivering that message. Keep doing all the ministry things you're doing because they are spreading positivity throughout this world, throughout the communities that you're working with, and just into people's lives, which is going to radiate out even further. On top of that, I'm always happy to have these types of conversations because these are the types of conversations that are important to have. If people want to, go and find the interviews where it's like, they ask the same questions over and over again, there's plenty of other ones for that. No, I want to actually have these types of conversations because they have the most, or I'm not only going to say they might have the most impact, but honestly, for me, they're just the most enjoyable because we really get to talk about things that are, in essence, very important that a lot of other people are feeling and dealing with.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, brother, thank you so much. Best of luck. And I hope you have someone good planned for your big number 300.
We'll see who's playing for the big number 300 episode. But also on that front, once again, thank you very much, Josh, for being on the show. For all the fans that are out there when it comes to the protest, anything you need to know to find them will be in the link in the description of the podcast under Find the Protest Online. Everything from their socials where you can watch their YouTube videos, where you can find them on the road, where you can go and see them play a live show, where you can buy some merch, where you can stream, download, buy, purchase all their music. Everything about that's going to be in the description of the podcast. And Josh, I've seen you on 2 shows so far, and hopefully in 2022, because I haven't seen the tour dates yet, hopefully there's one around me so I can make it number 3.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you as well. So this is not goodbye, man, because I'm going to be in another show, and I'm going to have you guys back in the podcast, hopefully for number 400. So on that note, I'll see you later, bud.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
Well, folks, this is an interview with Josh from the band The Protest. Once again, if you want to find anything on The Protest, let me scratch that and say, when you go and find anything on the protest, you're going to want to follow them on all their social media accounts. You're going to want to watch their YouTube videos. You're going to want to stream their music, download their music, buy their music. You want to know where to buy their merch and where to check out their concert dates, their live show dates, and where to get tickets for those. So I'm going to make it as easy as possible for you guys. Go in the description of the podcast and say, find the protest online. There'll be links for everything and labels for everything as well. So you can get in the know of the protest, be able to be, really become a fan of the protest and find them on tour in summer and fall of 2022 because you're not going to want to miss on them. Trust me on that. The positivity is radiating, especially if you're going to listen to the protest. Also, thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast as well. Please follow along with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the Tik Tok, where, Facebook, that's just kind of the business. Twitter, a lot of crazy things going on there. Instagram, probably our most popular platform. And TikTok, the small little fun tidbit bite size of the podcast, live on there as well. When it comes to the podcast, though, you can watch every single podcast episode on YouTube, or you can stream the audio version of the podcast on Spotify Podcasts, iHeart Radio, and Amazon. All the links to the podcast below, so please like, share, subscribe if you have not. Hit that subscribe button. Please, please, please do. Want to give you a thank you if you have already, because that is awesome. If you haven't, well, please hit the subscribe button. But if you don't, I get it. It's free will. That's your own choice. And, thank you for stopping by to the Chord Progression Podcast. Also want to thank Phoenix Fitness and Custom Abuse for sponsoring this podcast, the links, and their promo code description of the podcast as well. When it comes to music, guys, positivity is just the name of the game. And I know a lot of, artists, they talk about deeper topics, some heavier topics as well. But honestly, sometimes even talking about those things can spread positivity. They can spread connectiveness and spread this hope to us. That's what it's really, gets me going. That's what gets me driving. That's what, with the protest, their music, that anthemic drive behind it gets me going for it as well. Rise Against always makes me happy every time I get to listen to it. And you know what? That's why I love music. That's why I love my music. That's why I love doing this stuff. So on that note, that's going to be for me, guys. Thank you for watching this to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one of them. Big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah!